it's just the music's louder than the audio.
No, I turned it off. So
it's still going.
Well, it's going to go now because it's the delay on it.
Okay, so yeah, that's how much the delay
So
is.
now, and then when we're talking about it now, it'll be now, then, and then
Whoa.
it'll be now and
Okay.
now and then and now.
My head
now then.
It's like time travel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
time travel. Okay. So
Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you for checking that. That's very helpful. Yeah. So welcome to Game.wav, a game audio and game audio focused meeting here. Welcome. If this is your first time, it's not. I know all of you, so you know where the safe spaces policies are. So order of operations. We got intro. That's literally this. Announcements. If there's any playback feedback, if anybody's got anything to share, music, sound design, concepts, stuff like that. The emphasis was kind of funny there.
Yeah.
And then we got our main presentation, which I so creatively called Analyzing Sound for Bowling Hills with Jordan. And then we'll
/roast.
Yes, /roast. Mostly roast.
Jordan Hendrickson.
We're gonna, yeah, it's a roast. We're gonna roast Bowling Hills. This is the game.
And we're recording it because that's what you do when you're roasting things.
Yes.
You're recording it for sound effects.
Yes, roasting it for sound effects. Roasting it up. Okay, never mind. And then we'll go to bar. This is the, and two of them are here right now, which is, what?
Yay.
Oh my god. So,
We're legit,
yeah.
Hashtag blessed.
And just so you know, people on stream, even people here, IGEATC is all volunteer. I'm on there, Josh is on there, you can be on there too. If you want to do something, cool. Come to us, come to me, come to board members about starting something or contributing in some way. We would love to have you.
You have a 2025 reference in there.
I do?
Some of your 2025 volunteers.
Yes,
It's not
they
wrong.
Well, I don't
It's
think
not wrong.
It's not wrong.
It's not
It's
wrong.
not
They
up
were
to-
2025 volunteers, Josh. Okay.
Just pointing it out.
And
Let the roast begin.
I'm pretty yeah, this is roast Rob now. Okay. I'm pretty sure there might be something here too that Josh will find, because I think he says something every single time I do this slide too, and I don't think I did it. Anyway, we got events: Jam Night, Game.wav meeting, Twin Cities Playtest, MNVR, and HCI, all on Wednesdays, all throughout the month, and then we got Women's in Games.
Women's in Games.
Women in Games gathering.
We're gonna make Josh go up there and do the rest.
Yeah, Josh, you want to come on up here?
Josh is on it right
Jeez.
now.
I gotta get my mouth out. That's on the third Saturday of every month, and then today, the second Thursday of every month, best one of them all, Game.wav. So if come to these, please. They're all awesome in their own ways, all very diverse and different in all their different ways. Big thanks to our sponsors, Mobile Robot, 2DHQ, Penn Technical College, which we are in without yes. Snaps, yes.
I always forget. That's the thing you can get me on.
Yeah. And then we got Round 5. Awesome places, amazing workspaces and or colleges, think tanks, okay, next thing.
People with space.
Yes, people with space.
All the space.
Nice Games Alliance, awesome organization that is sponsoring this event right now and the events that I was talking about earlier. You can make donations. They are tax deductible. It's good stuff.
I guess the audio.
Yeah, I need to remember that this it's actually made donations.
Kind of quiet on it. Well, it's mostly because of this. All right. I just didn't want to have to hold it, but
MC Rob on the case.
Yeah. Anyway, community plugs. Does anybody have anything? We just did Global Game Jam,
Yeah.
so that was cool. Who made games? Josh, Trent,
God.
Yeah.
Scott. What was your games? Scott, you go.
I made an NES game again.
Who saw that coming?
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. What was it? What was it
Oh,
about?
right, that's important. Trash bandits. So it's your raccoons fighting, over like hoarding trash, hoarding stuff.
Amazing.
Kind of like two player versus player like battle where you're just fighting objects and stunning each other when you.
That's awesome. How did it go? Did you end with what you wanted?
Yeah, it was perfectly playable. It's not very complicated, but jam game.
Can you play it on an NES?
Oh yes.
Yes, it's fantastic. When are you making the cartridge version? That was yeah. This is me being a host, I'm just being a host here.
He wants to.
Yeah. That's awesome. What? Okay, Trent.
Yeah. Next.
We made a 4-player competitive bag builder push your luck game about trick or treating. Like you're picking what candy to put in your bag, and then you go home and you eat as much candy as possible without getting a tummy ache.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it turned out pretty cool. I might bring it to playtest, just not that I'm gonna continue on this game, but like I feel like it didn't get quite enough people playing it, and I wouldn't mind seeing some more people play. So I might bring it this week. We'll see.
That would be.
Yeah.
I actually think I might have to start coming to Jam Night because then we actually play games. I'll never play games. When
Yeah.
we're
Do we
doing
play
games.
test or?
Yeah, play test and Jam Night. We can play games there too.
Yeah.
You
Come
play
on.
games. You can play a game right now if you want to. See, Trent's got his
I
Steam
did,
Deck
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Oh dang.
I not for that
He's decked
reason.
out.
He's decked out.
Yeah, I am.
Amazing. And Josh.
And our team made a game called Mass Cafe, which is a narrative-driven experience that kind of a mix of what you would think of from a point-and-click interface moving around a 2D world, but then you just get to talk to people. And yeah, the story was influenced by certain recent events going on in Minnesota and our attempt to kind of spin things in a more positive repute of those events.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was also the first time for many people working with Godot, so
You had a
That's-
big team. You how many people did you?
it was like 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a big team.
Nice.
So yeah, I was the Godot mentor
Yeah,
slash
it looked like you were the
producer.
you were the glue holding it all together.
So how do you think that it went with Godot?
Yeah, I think people had a good time with it, and I was able to at least help drive the project to the point where we were able to release with something playable. Not necessarily all of the things we wanted, but that's also how jam games go. We at least had something that felt complete enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love those jam games. They're so much fun, and it's just like such a great experience to just go for 2 days straight. Kind of. I wasn't able to come this year, but next year, I swear. I feel like every time there's a game jam or the global game jam happens, I always get a crap ton of work that weekend. So it's like, ugh. But it's just middle of January. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Anybody else have any other plugs? Anything else coming up? I know Josh is going to talk about VGM Con.
You called it.
So go ahead.
So
My
yeah,
head up because Lila might be looking.
everyone here I think already knows what VGM Con is, but for the folks that are watching this stream, VGM Con is a fantastic convention where video game music and video games combine for a few days of both of those things together, and it is held right here in Minneapolis on the
Yes.
west side at the Crown Plaza. I forget which suburb, but up in the west side.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll probably be doing a pre-game type thing for VGM Con because I'll be not this year, but next year I'll be more in the capacity for like indie devs. This year I'm kind of like getting trained into it. So,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
VGM Con is awesome.
Sometime early April. I forgot to go look at the dates, but
Yeah, it usually is in April.
yeah, it's early
It's-
April. So that's what I know for sure.
It used to be on like the same weekends as GDC, and then they learned their
Yep.
lesson. So now
remember
they
that.
moved it to
Yeah.
April. So yeah, great. Sick. Okay.
Did she find it?
I didn't see her up there.
I kind of felt like maybe she went inside.
It is confusing, to be
Take the long one.
We need like a big sign with flashing lights.
Signs would be useful, actually. That might not be.
Yeah, we're going to be investing in some signage.
Neat.
The biggest problem is that I didn't have it. Trent had it, so I didn't have time to put it up. So yeah, we're gonna get some signage.
Get a boombox, just
Yeah,
play the
boombox.
theme song.
Boombox, signage, and get one of those those pole things.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called.
Is there a way to get like the GPS specifically of this meeting?
Yeah.
Like you type in like Game.wav meeting into
Yeah.
Maps, and it takes you right to this door.
I mean, I thought I made it clear that you could just go through H1, the door, but
It's still not
it's
obvious.
dark
yeah,
too.
it's
navigating
dark.
the parking lot.
Yeah, it's also dark, so
I think she probably just parked. So.
she probably just went back home. Screw it. It's not worth it. Playback feedback. This is where we listen to some songs or talk about songs, music that you're digging right now. Anything that is music related or sound design, but more so music. Does anybody have anything they've been working on in particular?
So I technically worked on this 6 months ago, so it's not recent, but I brought the Dice Tower trailer in for feedback, and at the time the feedback was focused around kind of like its usefulness within the trailer. I'm wondering if we can get a second pass at that and comment more on like the instrumentation and the sound itself, because
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to do a little bit of a deeper dive into that for my own, like just for fun. So I want to get feedback on something that I've put together with what I currently know how, so I can have an idea of what I should be focusing on to improve.
Cool.
Can you throw that in the Discord?
Yeah, I'll go grab that link real quick.
While he's doing that, does anybody have anything on like if they're on deck? Did you write anything recently?
I could. Yeah, I guess I could. Sure. I always have
Yeah.
something. I guess.
I have a silly thing I could throw in, like a synthesizer thing I made like 10 years ago.
I would. If you want feedback on it?
It's been so long, it's like it's new.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, send it to me. Throw it either in. You can either airdrop it to me.
I threw the YouTube link. Do you want something better than that?
YouTube's fine. You can grab that.
Just takes me more time to dig through the Google Drive on
Yeah.
interface.
Dice Tower. Send you a Discord link.
That's it. Thank you. Okay. This is the meeting. We don't want it. All right. So we're gonna watch Josh's trailer here, and he wants feedback on instrumentation and like production, or
Yeah, production, what it sounds like, instrument choices, mix level, like more of the sound aspect of it versus how it fits as a trailer.
Okay. So almost don't even watch the video.
Almost,
And
yeah.
it's, in a way. Okay. Well, we just close your eyes. You know. Just kidding.
Close your eyes.
Hold on.
Audio would help at least.
It definitely will.
I mean, that's usually like the last.
Critique the video.
Sound stream, which means. Oh, that's because I muted it.
That would,
Oh,
yeah.
Mario.
Just muted it.
Wait for it.
Hello. Testing. But once you go once,
Folks.
Is it playing on the stream or not?
It's playing on the stream, just not here.
Hello.
welcome.
Hey! Welcome to
Now we get to do our first time applause.
the meeting.
Somebody-
Yeah, we do
Really
it.
applauding.
Your directions.
Snap applause.
Yeah, anywhere.
I'm currently trying to understand why this is working. It's because I hit this monitoring system and it sounds stupid.
This was still logged in.
Oh, I hear you.
because
Audio.
I see audio. I see the audio.
Did you want to sit up front?
Yeah, this is Game.video, not
Yeah, game.video.
Here, if you want to.
Game.video.wave dot all the dots.
All right, I missed the explanation. What were we watching?
We were watching Josh's video,
Well, I know that.
and he wanted to know about production, about instrumentation, about just general mixing levels, which I would call production. So yeah, does anybody have any first thoughts? Well, first of all, actually, I think it's good to know what you were going for. Like, what era of sound? Like, were you trying to make it modern? Were you trying to make it something that, yeah, like what is some of the?
Yeah, so I was going for a modern rockish feel, maybe a little on the metal side. It's kind of basically what I've talked about before with like Dice Tower's music direction, something that's grounded in rock and then adds elements in on top of that. So in this case, I was trying to evoke the kind of sense that this is a mystical kind of, but also religious kind of thing, because the lore of Dice Tower is that you're doing these things in the service of entertaining the gods. So I wanted to, that's one of the reasons I brought in a church organ, was to kind of impersonate that kind of grand cathedral-esque
Sure.
feel.
yeah.
So
And
that's,
choir,
And what did you use to make everything? What's your setup at like?
so this is entirely done with Cakewalk, BandLab's free instrumentation suites. So I think there's like some SI instruments. Can't remember if I have the Contact plugin. I can't remember if I used any of the Contact stuff here or if it was all Cakewalk, but it was essentially just me finding things quickly that got close enough to the feel that I wanted and then using them.
Yeah.
But essentially, mainly freely available VSTs.
Yeah, for sure. Because it sounds, to me, and I don't know if anybody else thought this, but it sounds kind of dated. Like, it sounds like things aren't as full as they could be. Was that?
Like not enough variation.
No, like old sounding
It's got like
plugins.
a 16-bit.
Yeah, like 16-bit era.
Yeah.
Sampled instrument sort of thing.
Yeah, like the guitars don't sound like, some things don't sound as realistic as they could,
Yeah.
but it's simply because they are not, like they're VSTs that are free, or they might be old VSTs. The Cakewalk, that's Sony's DAW, I think.
Not Sony's, but yes, it is an old DAW, and considering that it was dead and resurrected, I suspect a lot of this stuff is quite dated.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I was asking, like, were you going for like a
Yeah.
16-bit era thing?
I
Because
think
if you
I
were,
yeah.
that does sound. It sounds a lot more comparable.
I mean, that's the thing. I wasn't necessarily going for that. I
Yeah.
was just going with the instrumentation that I had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
a conscious choice on my part
Okay.
to do it in that style.
So if we were going for like a modern, if you wanted like something more metal, modern sounding, I would say that it doesn't sound like that to me, just because of the instrumentation. Because like, like when I think of metal music, especially like modern metal, I think of like really clippy drums and like really in your face drums, like here, like
Yeah.
shoving your nose back kind of drums.
With a
And
very
so,
clicky kick drum.
yeah, and like when I'm listening to this, I could hear the drums plenty well, especially that crash or that
Open hi-hat.
yeah, like open hi-hat, dark crash kind of sound. It's definitely open hi-hat. It's like, it's a little in the background, like the kick drum especially. Like when I hear metal kick, it is like, it is like basically no low end almost. It's all just like in your face.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one production side of things. It sounds like a metal sound, like the instrumentation, or like the part, it like plays like a metal drum, you know. But it just doesn't quite sound metal to me.
I liked the some of the editing, like the dings, like
The ding dongs,
the
dong dings,
Bell?
what's the
bells,
the term?
The bell.
The toll. Yeah.
the tolls.
Especially the one that is it after this or before this? This one. So that sets it up, and then here, I like that you almost expect another one, but it's now you're in the safe zone, and it feels good to like. We're not
Those strings are so Final Fantasy to me. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like that's
Super Nintendo.
thinking Super
It is,
Nintendo. Like
totally.
that's what I thought of, and that's why I was like 16-bit era. Now you're nailing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, modern, I would say, not so much.
So I specifically was using just like a generic, this is a string sound VST, like not building up individual instrument parts, just this is the one string sound that
Yeah.
you get. So would you recommend actually building out the parts more if I wanted it to sound better, or is there are there better options?
Yeah, how do we know?
Yeah, I think, like, watching this the first time, I thought this fits the art style because it's 16-bit sound, right? But it's dependent on if you're going for that, right? And you're saying it's just kind of circumstantial, like what you had to work with. Personally, I think it works, but there are other options to, you know, get something to sound more realistic. And there's actually a lot of free options that, I mean, I'd be happy to recommend in the Discord or something.
Yeah, throw 'em in the chat.
There's a
Or not
lot
chat,
of
throw 'em
like
in the-
really like high-end orchestral instruments, like from top line companies.
Yep,
That,
yeah.
And they have like free versions. where they're
Spitfire.
Like, hey, Spitfire or Orchestral Tools has
Orchestral
a really amazing free one that you should just check out and see if you can just replace the parts.
Yeah, you could.
You
Yeah,
know?
You
yeah,
just want to give me those in the Discord, like
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I can
definitely.
do
We'd
that.
all be
yeah.
interested, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can
There's
do that.
we could go through. We could do like a presentation one day about free tools.
Yeah,
That would
be
yeah,
pretty. That would
I'd
be pretty cool.
down for that.
Um,
Because there's a
definitely.
lot out
there's
there.
I've
Yeah.
looked around.
yeah,
and
you
it's like,
you could pretty much do everything for free.
Yep.
The only thing you'd be missing out on is, I do find some of the free stuff has a little bit less of like that. I wouldn't say high quality. Like you can make something sound a little higher quality by us like mixing it, you know, I guess. But like there's a lot of
You miss out on like the amount of articulation.
Yes.
And like there's no legatos usually, you know, there's those things.
but you have to basically have to trick it. Like
yeah.
you have to use multiple VSTs to kind of, you know, use Spitfire's legato, use, you know,
Yeah.
orchestral tools, pizzicato, you know, like you pick
Yeah.
and choose basically.
Yep.
That can kind of like, and I do that with even bot plugins.
I
even,
still have,
you know.
I mean, I have a huge template that I use for orchestral stuff, and I still, to this day, use a bunch of free stuff in there because it still sounds good.
Yeah.
You know? Just a lot of really
One that is paid
good
that
stuff.
it sounds really good. That is usually, I think they usually do like a Black Friday or, you know, they do like a discounted thing is the Albion one.
Yep.
That one's really good.
That's orchestral tools.
And Albion, it just kind of has this like a little bit of everything. And the way they kind of lay it out is really nice and easy. Like they'll just have, you know, woods high, woods low, not like every single instrument. Because sometimes you really don't need all that. You just need like, I need some woodwinds, you know, or I need some brass, or
Yep.
you know, it depends on what you're doing. And for like metal stuff, you don't really need to get into the, like the nitty gritty orchestration. Sometimes you just need that like
you just
that
need the
filling
feel,
the sound
yeah.
kind of, you know.
Yeah. Even just to
This from what
start
I've-
out with that too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I thought that the choir actually sounded kind of cool.
That makes it feel.
Yeah.
And the harp. And then that organ, like the organ, harp, and vocals there, choir. It all sounds I mean, it still sounds dated, but it sounds like that. That together sounds like exactly what I think it should sound like. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Is this helpful?
Oh, this is very helpful.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Was there any the one thing that I did feel like that was really lacking is the guitar.
Oh, I could talk about
Yeah, it's just got nothing. You know, it's
Oh,
like
yes.
you know, it sounds like
Yep.
it sounds like a Casio keyboards. You know,
Mhm,
you know,
yeah, I
which
would have recorded it if I had the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
even-
something I'm gonna need to figure out too, because I always used like VST guitars just simply because it was quick and easy.
Yeah.
But I've always hated how it sounds because it's not a real guitar
Yeah.
sound. You cannot get near.
well, even when I
the
was making
articulation.
even was making your soundtrack, it was like I knew I had to play guitar.
Yeah.
Like there was no escaping it.
Yep.
Even my performance was like so. It got better with each song, I think. Because frankly, I hadn't touched guitar in a while, so it was like,
You'd love to
You
hear
did pretty
like,
well.
you know, kind of a poor VST versus a good VST versus live. You know,
Sure.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
I personally, as far as guitar goes, I don't think any VST,
No, VST
matches up to
doesn't
a
do
real
it.
guitar.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
I've also found over the years that plugging directly in it doesn't sound good either. I did that for a long time where I was like, I don't need an amp, screw that. And I'm just gonna plug directly in. Come on,
Yeah.
I can use an amp simulator, and it just didn't ever sound right.
Yeah.
So now I just crank my Vox AC60,
Sure. Yeah.
and it's super loud, but it just throw a 57 on there, and it just sounds so much better.
So you're talking about like actually playing the amp and then using a mic to record it?
Yes.
We're opposites because I plug straight in. And
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're a really good player, you can, and I know that you're a pretty good
I'm
player.
alright.
But for me, I feel like my playing style is a little bit more, you know, intuition based.
I mean,
So-
that's my style too.
So, and you know, like I kind of play a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
whereas I'm not picking not really doing like just metal or just whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, every guitarist is going to say the same thing. They're going to say, oh, it's their own style, you know, their own
Yeah.
way of doing it.
Yeah. And I have friends who like either or.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, what they taught us at McNally was to kind of do best of both worlds, like
Yeah.
plug it all in at once. I find it just extra space on the hard drive that I don't need anymore
Yeah.
when I know what I want now.
Mhm.
And for some reason, it is just, I don't know what it is about Cakewalk, but it's freaking difficult to get your guitar set up to just plug in and record. Like, I've done it a
Shouldn't
couple
be,
of times,
but-
and I forget every time how it works, and it always becomes enough of a barrier that I just can't do it under time pressure.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm sorry to hear that. We should maybe figure that out because that sounds a little. That doesn't sound. right. But-
I'm sure it's probably my lack of knowledge and not writing.
You might just. It might be literally like a setting even that you just need to click or something because all DAWs have little quirks and stuff. But anyway, what I was gonna say just came off the top of my head from running a recording studio for years. When you're recording guitar, the more you go into the tweeter, if you're pointing directly at the tweeter, it is really harsh. It's going to be harsher the more you get to the like middle of the speaker. Further you go out of the speaker, it starts to become darker. So like if you're trying to find that sound, you know, find your sound with your amp that you like, and then the microphone placement will actually start to modify that tone even more. Because if like you can have it in a room and it sounds awesome, but if you put the mic in the wrong place, it sounds horrible. It'll sound like comb filtery and like phasey and weird. And
Yeah.
so you have to like, you know kind of where you're going with that sound. If you want something really bright, put it directly at the cone or slightly off. You can even turn it off axis, point it directly at it, but off axis, and that will like kind of cut some of those upper frequencies, but it'll still be bright. So you're kind of like doing stuff like this, but always directing at part of the cone that, you know, is, you know, however dark you want it to get. And even like when you're double tracking, you know, or you want to thicken that sound, maybe put the microphone right at the edge of the cone, record it, and then start moving it inwards, record another part, blend them together, kind of stuff. And then you start getting that sound that you might start hearing. I think the best thing to do is listen to the music that you like the sound of the guitars, and then try to emulate it in all the different ways by double tracking, by just single tracking, like trying to get it as close, and like even learning a part of that song and trying to get it as like that, and then, you know, modifying it to your taste, kind of thing. So that's just a little bit of recording background. I don't get to talk about recording very much, actually, which is kind of funny.
Future talk.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Glossary of all
Yeah.
the words you just said.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because I also really want to dive more
Tweeter.
into like figuring out guitar sounds. I don't want to monopolize all this conversation though, but that's something
It's
I've
very interesting, though, what you're
figure
talking.
out more
So,
of, because like I've always done it just by like feel on the.
and you
things
should.
that have,
I think you
but-
should. I mean, I did that forever. And then I started to learn things, and then some of those things I learned that I actually didn't really like. So I kind of went back to my way of doing things. It's all subjective. It's all subjective. So, I mean, I do think that genre-wise, there are some like metal specifically has very particular tastes. So like there are certain ways to kind of have to do it, you know. But I do think there's a nuance in there that, you know, there's plenty of room to be creative, obviously. But
Yeah.
you just want things clicky and very clean, very distinct. You want to be able to hear every part, because it's all going to sound like horrible if it's not all right on time and right, like having its own pocket, you know, because metal, it's kind of like a wall of sound almost.
Yeah.
And that's like the point. You know, it's like that aggressiveness. You want the instruments to reflect the aggressiveness. Yeah.
When you say all these beats in its own pocket, are you talking about like that kind of like bass, treble, EQ, range?
Yeah,
Stuff, right?
I think I kind of mean all of it in a way, because like playing wise, you can. So here's another big secret of the trade. If you're really good at instrument playing, you're gonna sound amazing regardless. Like it's gonna sound good, even if you're miking, you know, just in crazy ways, or like the mixing isn't awesome. If you're playing it directly, like on time, especially with metal music, you know. And I'm not a metal person, but like I can observe when I listen to metal, I'm hearing things being very precise, and that's what I mean by the pocket. Like the bass fits in a spot, the drums fit in its spot, the guitars fit in a spot, and you can hear the whole thing at once. You're not just like, I can only hear the drums, I can only hear the guitars. I mean, this is like, mixing is a extremely hard process that takes years to understand just by doing. Like it's one of those things that you just kind of have to do until it starts sounding right.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite songs to listen to for mixing purposes is Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, because that song has everything in it. It has like the most beautiful crispy guitars you've ever heard, the most amazing vocals you've ever heard. The drums are literally just solid. Those drums they just nail it. That song nails everything to me about music and recording, and not just like songwriting wise, but like recording specifically. It's perfect. And like and so like when I'm really out of touch with mixing, I'll listen to that song and be like, okay, get back to the basics, baby. Like just pan things, get things in places, you know, like really focus on what you're trying to achieve with the song and what you're trying to say with it, you know.
Yeah.
You want to be able to hear the things that you're trying to say. So anyway, let's move on from Josh's stuff.
A lot of good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff.
It's great though.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Oh, you guys sent me other stuff. So let's see here.
Oh, I just posted the free orchestral stuff.
Sick.
Sweet.
Ooh, Jazzberry Juice.
What is this?
I didn't make the music, but I wrote the synthesizer.
Oh, he wrote the synthesizer. Okay, so
Like a music tracker?
It's like a
Kind
little
of.
teeth in
It's
there
just
that
playing tracker
Robbie's
music.
is
Okay.
made.
Yeah.
Alright.
there is.
I'm
I
like-
stole it from him.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just only now made that
Yeah.
connection. Someone's sitting here, I'm like, I like this detail, but other people might not.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing I
So
wanted to say.
what Lila is talking about is in Josh's music, he did this dun 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 and I because Josh was like, we were going back and forth for a while on like what it should the feel, and I just took that part, and he was like, oh, I did that, and I'm like, yeah, and then I kind of built it on the entire thing. So
There's another part, it's like,
yeah, there's little parts, yes,
And then,
Yeah.
I reused that in the trailer.
yeah, yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Nice.
Okay, so Scott's thing. Scott made a
So I wrote the synthesizer for this. I didn't make the music. It's just some other
Yeah.
song that I just like. Yeah, I wonder if I could like make a synthesizer to play some existing file. But I did make the instruments for it because it was originally like a Amiga mod file which had sampled instruments in it, and this is just.
Okay.
I made like the envelopes and like some of the like tremolo effects and stuff, but no, they sort of just hard coded them to
so
play.
this is all DSP, basically.
Yeah, this was just like a Friday night screwing around sort of like.
This is Scott's Friday nights,
That's
everybody.
awesome.
He's just
synthesizer.
sipping on. I don't know, what do you drink on Friday nights?
What was it called? Something juice?
Cappuccinos?
Sure.
Yeah, just sipping on cappuccinos
Remember something.
late at night, making sense.
Jazzberry juice.
Jazzberry.
Raspberry juice. Here we go. There it is. say in a 8-bit track, stop using risers. Yes, snaps.
That was probably like the first bit of like audio code I wrote. I was just like, I could probably do this. Like it was seems like 200-300 lines of code to do the whole thing, from loading the file to generating the instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
It was my gateway to like, oh, you know, like I could do this.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Did you base it off of any, because I see this like sequencing, and I immediately go to NES and Game Boy style, like.
It was mostly just like there's that one song that I had an Amiga mod file, which is a 4-track thing, and it just kind of went, like, how hard would it be to like get the information out of this, to like parse it out and play it. So that was just like a random like Friday curiosity trip.
So can you explain to us what's going on here? So there's 4 different tracks.
Yeah, so that's the tracks. The first column is D4, so that's D, the 4th octave. And every once in a while, the dash in the middle will be sharp.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but like, what are the what instruments are each channel? What would
The
you
instruments change because you only have 4 tracks.
Yeah, right, okay.
You have to sort of like interleave the instruments.
Yeah.
So like as you're playing, it switches them
And
rapidly.
you're using this play position to do that, right?
The playing position, that's the so so like when you have like an ABA pattern. sort of
Yes.
thing,
This is this part.
when you want to like simplify it, like you only specify that data once, and then you play
Sure.
that the play position is which.
So
Well, I think we just call them positions or whatever, like the chunks of music that you'd play.
From what I was kind of understanding, I think this was drums, and this
Yeah,
was
mostly.
synth, or it was maybe a solo,
I don't know.
or-
I have to like listen
and
to
then
it.
this was like the chords, and this was like another synth pattern or something, or this was bass. I think it was
Yeah.
bass. Fun.
But so like in the third column of each of those, like that's like the effects that it's applying to.
Okay, so
One
there's
of those is
different-
switching instruments.
Okay.
I
So
couldn't tell
the
you
instrument
which
is
one.
happening in one of these columns even.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like multiple, because I've seen this kind of stuff before, like Game Boy type, chiptune stuff. But I've always kind of been curious about what I'm looking at. What am I looking at here? It's just like a bunch of numbers and letters.
From what I remember, so it's like the note you're playing, and then the middle one's the volume, or might be the
Yep.
instrument and the volume actually.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
think it
left
is
digit might be the
volume.
instrument, and the right one might be.
Are dots mute? Or like,
And
The
it's
dots
just
are no-
nothing, no
no
information,
notes, yeah.
like no change.
how do you
No end.
continue something like as like a one long note, like
Oh,
legato?
so like right where we are there, the F4. So it plays that F, and then it continues because it has an envelope on it, right? So that triggers the note there on that channel, and it continues playing until it finishes, or until you play another note over the top.
Yeah.
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to use a music tracker, and I think
Yeah.
the far right numbers, or sort of the like
These
F03, C1A, that's like where you are telling it what to do.
Yeah,
Like where
it's
it's
like
like here,
apply
play a
tremolo
vibrato
or
here,
vibrato, yeah.
or do a bend here.
Yeah, because I definitely heard the bend, and I was like,
Yeah.
how are you telling me? To do
Yeah,
that?
you can. It's like programming in a command.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's only a certain amount of commands that this style of
16 of them.
16 of them, yeah,
that's
16-bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just that each one of those digits is 0 to 16.
I like
0 to
mine
15.
better, 16-bit. I'm just kidding.
Well, then you'd have 64.
Yeah.
So what all did you use here? Like, what is this? You say this is a music tracker. Is it called music tracker? And what is all the other stuff you used to make it? Because that's fantastic.
I mean, it's like 200 lines of C code and like
Okay.
100 lines of Lua.
Okay.
That's the whole thing.
And you're using just oscillators to like
Yeah.
change the.
Yep. So like the instruments were all like the original music had like sampled instruments in it, and I just replaced them all with like hand coded, basically oscillators that were like square waves,
Yep,
sine
like the
waves,
basics,
triangle waves.
yeah.
Like you can change like the duty cycle. So like I like programs
Duty.
like somebody would change the duty cycle bit, or the envelopes I kind of hard coded in. But yeah, so it's not very complicated instruments.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very cool. We should do a presentation about that sometime, just
It was cool.
how these work, because I have always been curious about like messing with 8-bit more. That's not just like I have a ton of 8-bit like sounding VSTs, but to do it like the old school way, it seems really fun and interesting. I do have one thing to say before we move on. How many key changes were there in there? I'm just curious. Did anybody catch that?
4 different keys?
It's like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
There were a lot of key changes.
Yeah,
I think there
it's-
were like 4
I
distinct.
think it started in F.
Yeah.
It was A sharp. No, it was. Might have been a C sharp.
I
No,
can't-
A sharp is
I can't.
A sharp and D sharp. That's C sharp. I don't remember. And then I saw it go to F at one point. There was a lot of key changes, and I thought it was interesting.
It's really cool,
I
yeah.
was going to see if.
It was very smooth.
Yes. Yes, it was very smooth.
Very smooth.
Thank you for sharing, Scott. Is there anything you wanted any feedback on specifically, or wanted us to
It was
talk
just
about?
like a random thing. I remembered I made this. I was like,
Yeah.
I can bring that up. at
It's
the-
really fun. I would love to do like more of a deep dive into this kind of coding sometime. Maybe if you want to take a crack at that kind of presentation or something, that would be really cool.
Sure.
This time I wouldn't forget to stream it.
10 years ago, so I just like tried to look up the song. I'm like, I want to hear.
It's
what it sounds
Jazzberry
like
Juice.
in someone else's with other instruments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, folks, we have reached that time. We have reached our main presentation, analyzing sound for Bowling Hills with Jordan. Okay, so what we're going to do to start, we're not going to have Jordan talk first because that's not how this works. We're going to actually, oh my gosh, so many freaking things. I've got this criteria that I kind of built out here, and I broke it out so that we could watch the video and kind of look back as reference. So the criteria for analysis on this, we're going to watch the video and get someone to note take some of the things we talk about. That would be cool. So there's 6 kind of steps that I think we should go through, and this is kind of like, even in the sound reveal, kind of the framework I think we're going to start using. So first of all, we need to identify as a group the game loop. Like, what is the game? Why? What are we playing here? And how do we get, from beginning to end? Kind of, what's the story, I guess? And are there any like unique features in the game? Something that like makes it distinct, something different. And hint, there is something.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. There is something. And then, what are the sounds that are absolutely necessary? What are the things that we have to communicate to the player that this game loop is what it is, basically? What's the identity of the game, like specifically? What has to be there for the player to even know they are doing something?
You're talking about like the classification of sound, not the actual literal sound that gets played.
I'm talking about like if footsteps are really important, we need footsteps.
Okay, so yeah, the classification of it, rather than like, okay, this particular footstep sound is really important.
Doesn't matter. We save that for later.
Yeah.
The distinction and the aesthetics and stuff. We can save that stuff for later. But like, I first want to know like what are the stuff we absolutely have to have. Not like ambiences. Ambiences don't have to be there. I want you to think really carefully about like the game loop and the things that, like for a bowling game, what might be one thing that we think we have to have?
Pins.
Pins, yes, but I'm thinking even more, probably the bowling ball rolling down the lane. That alone has to be there. If that's not there, it's not a bowling game.
I would argue that.
Yeah.
That's another.
He might have forgot to put that in there. And that's kind of funny. Okay.
Taking notes over there?
Yeah, take some notes over here.
Never came up.
It just never came up. Never came up in the name of the thing.
Well, that's why
Bowling.
you're here.
That's why you're here. That's why we're doing this. We are roasting Jordan's game.
Yeah. We released it 3 years ago, so you can be honest. Don't be mean, but be honest.
We will never
What
be
if it's the
mean.
same
We will
thing?
only be honest. Sometimes honesty can sound mean, though.
You
We
can
don't
count on
mean to
Trent
be mean.
being
No,
honest.
we will not be mean in any way. Okay, so then after that, once we kind of identify the sounds we have to have, like the bowling, rolling them on the ground, what sounds do we need to support the world building and the atmosphere? Like what things kind of hold up those other things? What are the things that those would be atmospheric sounds, like ambiences, things that are happening in the background that might give the player more context to the world and what's going to happen, or fun things even, like little things. And then what sounds need modification in the game? What sounds, like, even if it's, I wouldn't say like sample based, like that's not really that important in this regard, because putting like a list and then randomizing it is not that hard in a game engine, but like, but something that like would require like a filter coming in at a certain point, or
Like an underwater
I was
filter.
gonna say.
yeah, underwater filter, something that requires more programming or more thought than just like
Yeah.
randomization, I guess.
So the real time part of it.
Yes, a real-time part of the game, something that happens in the game that can't be done necessarily in the audio assets.
Has to be dynamic.
Yes, it has to be dynamic.
I see.
And time slow is
So which things are that? And then, because this is a full game, we're going to talk about music as well, not just sound design. So how should the music work in relationship to the sound design? And I actually think sound design trumps music in games, because it's an interactive experience. Like, if the sounds are there, if the sounds are gone and you're just listening to music, it's like,
It's a music video
it's
at
music.
that point.
Yeah, you're just kind of listening to music and playing something. You already know what you need to do. You're not a first-time player trying to understand the game. We're trying to make this game. We're trying to make sounds for a game that a first-time player would play it, and they would like get the understanding of how the game works and understand the full game loop and whatnot. So how should that music work in relationship to sound design? And maybe sometimes the music should be featured, sometimes it shouldn't be, sometimes, stuff like that. And then finally, what do the visuals and the gameplay say about the design aesthetics for all the sound and music? So that's kind of where we're going into what Josh was talking about, like, what's the quality of the sound? What's the tone? Like, what kind of, is it funny? Is it horror? Is it, that's where, I think that's where we kind of, once we kind of just get those basic things done, just identification, then we can start deciding how these things should sound, in my opinion. Some people like to say that, I was actually listening to a podcast on the way here, and she was talking about actually doing this aesthetics design first, and I think it's kind of hard to do that, because if you don't know what you're designing, it's hard to know how you could design it. In my opinion, if we don't understand the game loop and the reason why we even need the sounds, it's hard to say aesthetically why. The only thing you could probably design first is atmosphere, because you don't need anything other than just the game's visuals or something to like kind of get that. So I think aesthetics come after kind of everything else. So is that making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Sorry if that was like really nailing over that, but
No, it's actually useful to have that as a list.
yeah.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have that in the background here while we no sound play this.
It's a good name.
It's a really good name.
There's some model switching going on there.
Yep. So we got like
Nerd.
basic UI. That is a good looking dude and a good looking shirt.
What's with the texturing on the bullet lines?
There
I don't
you
know, what is it?
Ah,
They're hills.
okay.
Ah, it's starting to make sense.
go. Mm.
Is this golf one?
Yes. It looks like
This is what?
golf
Like
ball.
golf.
I just got to say, this is like one of the best ideas ever.
Thank you.
I love the water, by the way. Just
Yeah, the water's a good choice.
Oh my god.
The water.
Didn't know we were gonna need water sounds.
Do we though? Maybe.
But I think you might.
Replay. Look at that.
Is this only single player?
It's sort of. I mean, you can play with 4 people, but you just alternate.
Okay.
Control it.
One at a time.
It is
Nice.
network too.
Dude, that ball looks great. The
But does it sound?
yeah, does it sound great though?
Make sure you read those undulations.
So yeah, I revised my earlier statement. Since you changed the lanes to be grass, you definitely need a sound to accentuate that.
And it looks
We
like
might.
you're rolling through sand as well.
Yeah. It's interesting that you can't use any. You couldn't just get a bowling pack of sounds for this at all.
No,
like
you definitely
not even
couldn't.
close. Like,
Even though he probably did. It's okay. That's why it counts.
Foreshadowing.
You definitely couldn't do that. That would be.
I'm sorry.
That would.
I really love this game though. I really do. So I'm really excited.
hey,
That was a strike right there, friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something visually, why were you talking about water earlier?
There's water in the lanes.
There's water.
Instead of the gutters.
There's water
gutter.
in
The
the
Gutter.
gutters have water in them.
Oh,
Yeah.
like a
water
water
hazard
hazard
silly.
involved.
You go through the menu.
Okay, so it looks like you can do different levels
Yeah,
of
there's-
difficulty.
What's happening right now is like there's basically a custom mode where you can like change the bowler strength, so that's why you're gonna see what
Bowler
you're gonna see
strength.
here.
Okay.
But can you toss it into the other
Oh,
lane?
just wait a second.
Now come
That-
back, Boomerang.
that gets you kicked out.
That's it's a little touchy, so I'll get it down.
I love that it like.
Oh,
my
this-
gosh.
this
Oh,
is-
nice.
Yeah, this is giving me Wii
To roll
Bowling
all the way back
vibes
and
of
knock
just
down the other players. And make them
shenanigans.
go-
That was hilarious.
Oh, it was so close.
Bounce, yeah.
That's the DLC.
Dang, that was good.
That's a lot of power.
But yeah, this was just the
Ah, do that.
That's some Wii Sports
Yes.
stuff there. I remember that.
Okay.
What?
Oh no.
I don't.
Okay. There you go.
No, too much
Oh.
power.
Just-
Oh, you did not.
Is there a bar behind
Incredible.
this whole thing?
But yeah.
This is incredible.
Now, if only
Love
has a
this
scope
game.
for destructible balls.
I know.
Okay. Amazing game. A plus. You already won. You don't even need sounds. It's just great. Okay, so so let's identify that game loop. What do we got going on here?
Bowling?
Bowling. There you go. It's pretty simple.
It's slightly different.
But what's unique about it?
You touch grass.
Yes. Well, you touch grass. You're literally bowling on ground and like sand traps. And is it procedural? Is it just random?
Yeah, it is random.
And one thing I did notice that I thought I didn't like at first, but now that I know what it is, or thought further, I was like, that is awesome. You actually have the terrain, it's like giving you elevation.
That's why I said undulations.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
you're reading the undulations. Yeah.
Topographic.
I love that. At first I was like, what is that? But now I understand
Yep.
you can like roll around it
Yeah.
or,
Yeah, it's common in golfing games. So.
yeah, in golfing games, yeah. So you're combining golfing and bowling.
Yep.
So we need to think about golf and bowling in this situation, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, cool. So the unique factor is here that instead of that ball hitting the wood and making the like typical bowling sound, we're gonna get something completely different. It's like,
Sure.
It's more like bocce balls and throwing those.
so we need. Okay, cool. So what sounds absolutely have to be present?
Well, bowling pins.
Bowling
Start
pins.
there.
Pins, yeah.
Pins getting hit. Yes.
And the ball rolling.
And the ball rolling on
some
ground.
sort of surface.
On ground.
Yeah.
Well, and wood.
Because you do still
On
Because you
wood.
could hit it on
On wood, grass, and sand.
and sand.
And the associated user interface sounds.
And then how associate? Yes, definitely user interface
strike
sounds.
For sure,
and
yeah.
atmospheric, the crowd behind you,
Not yet. Those don't have to be there.
right?
You don't have to have those.
water splashes.
You don't
Yep.
I don't
technically have to have
I
those
would
either.
argue you do
Wait, what?
because
Why?
you need
Yeah.
feedback.
Well-
from
Splash at the
wrong.
end there.
You gotta have some splash.
You are seeing a splash, so yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of do.
Okay.
So if the visuals match, then yeah, you do get a splash. Okay, so you gotta have splash. Ooh, that rolling. Let's roll.
Yeah, roll.
Boom. And then but replay slow mo.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's you.
So that's probably like the game modifiers.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that would go in the in-game modification
Yeah.
category.
And the impact force is gonna be a big part of
Yeah. Well, I was also thinking about,
You probably need different degrees of like bowling roll and thuds as it lands on.
yeah. Well, I was thinking, what is it going to sound like when the ball hits a sand trap? You know, like what is it?
Yeah.
What should it?
The thud
You
of
know,
it,
like,
yes.
what's that?
I was wondering what does it sound like when you throw a ball at the wall?
That's what we're figuring
Ah,
out.
yeah. But that's a good point. Like,
That is
do
a
we
good point.
need that? I mean, if you were going to throw it at the wall, like, I don't want to not hear
You can
anything.
turn
Yeah.
360 degrees.
So, yeah.
It feels like a like almost like a
ball against a gymnasium.
A bowling ball in a
Try to
gymnasium.
throw it as high as you can, yeah.
I'm just getting Foley, don't worry.
yeah. This feels very like you don't even worry about what's realistic. It's like what do you expect of like for this type
Yeah.
of game, and like
Yeah.
I almost like you might even bring in a little bit of bowling noises, just
Yeah,
a little
so-
bit, just to
So getting into the aesthetics part, it's just wacky. So you can
Yeah.
kind of do whatever you want, but like, I think the connection, to make the connection between, you know, like the idea of golf and bowling and stuff, it might be good to have some of those like generic sort of
Yeah,
like
something like
associated
grounds
sounds,
Mm-hmm.
but like do it wacky basically.
So something I couldn't tell is, once you throw the ball, is there any more gameplay? Are there any more inputs you're doing, or you just let it go? Okay, so like, if there is, maybe sometimes that can impact.
It would be kind of
Back up
funny if you
to
had,
Or some games let you change the direction as it's
Mhm.
going.
I am curious to know what happens when it hits a sand trap. Does it slow down? Does
It does slow down,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I couldn't really tell exactly if it was doing
Yeah, it
that.
goes fast, so.
But I do want to hear you know, like the hit and then up, because I think that would be hilarious. First of all, like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like you would need ball rolling sounds at different speeds if you can also
Yeah,
control the
I
power.
think so too.
I also cannot wait to hear you get a gutter ball and then just going, you know, like that. I feel like you kind of have to have in there.
I can't wait to hear that.
That I almost want to get gutter balls just to hear that. And that.
I have a question. So I feel like this would be really hard to so the ball's hitting the pins, right? That would be really hard to simulate in a way that is going to be satisfying. And so like as a sound designer, like are you going to like have a bunch of different levels of like this is a strike and this is a
I think that
like
I think that would be something you'd probably talk to with the developer, like,
mhm.
and I would probably suggest, you know, let's not do it by physics. Let's just like when you get certain numbers of things,
Mhm.
you play a different sample. So like some kind of logic system that says if you get 5 pins, that's what this sounds like.
Mhm.
If you get like whatever ones they are.
Are you
Yeah.
saying to do a look ahead?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say you have
that's
to like
what-
figure it out ahead of time and then
I
play
was
the
gonna say,
sounds.
it's gotta,
to
like,
kinda
predict-
Which I think you would-
Well, I was more so thinking,
Having a fixed amount of like pin reactions, basically.
Yeah.
Because then you could record like a really satisfying strike or whatever, and then you know it would fit for any number of simulations, maybe.
So
I
you
think
you
that's
have
what you're going for.
instant replay in here?
It,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it plays after
Yeah,
the.
so you could look ahead, like and do, like and just
Well,
when you're showing it.
well, you're not gonna.
You still have to map it.
You would still have to
Yeah,
first get it before you do the replay. So
that's what I mean. Yeah, yeah.
so
How little objects though? Is it actually that hard to?
I don't know. That's
simulate?
yeah. That's kind of why it's a question to me. Is like, can you have a satisfying
I would think.
Well,
real time?
okay, so what I would probably do,
Ten
honestly,
physics object, I'd be tempted just to tie it to the pins, but I don't
Yeah.
know how you choose which sounds to make.
what I'd probably do is I'd probably just have a bunch of one shots of a pin getting hit,
Mhm.
and I'd have several variations,
Yep.
and then
That's what
you
I
could
do.
put them just directly on the physics object, and then it could just kind of do whatever. But if that got too crazy, you know, you could put like bus effects or something on there, so like it didn't get overwhelming, or you could like max out numbers, whereas like you can only have 5 samples playing at once, even though there's 8 pins down or something. Basically, however, like listen, and if it feels weird, tone it down.
Right. Does
or-
that when you get a strike? Does it sound like what you expect from a strike.
Yeah.
Like that sound that you.
And maybe a
Right.
strike has its own sample, like, because a strike is what we really want. in bowling.
Yeah, but then
So-
you're back to like, how do you know it's a strike until like you gotta
Yeah, you
play
gotta
the
right
sound
away.
a little bit early, kind of to. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
coming into like, what if we actually just physically simulated all of it? You would then, you need the collision between the ball and the pin, so that's one class of sound. You then need the sound of the pin being lifted off of the ground, so that's another sound.
It's too much.
Does that
It just gets to the
does
point
it
where,
make a
yeah,
sound when it leaves the ground?
yeah, because
I
like,
think hitting the ground it would.
Well,
no,
I don't know
because
if it's too much.
because it's already resting on the ground. When it gets hit, there's gonna be a sound.
That's different than the ball hitting it?
It's, I would argue, yeah, that it's different, especially in this case because you're on grass.
But then it's just a bunch of thuds. So I mean, like,
Skating
Right,
on
I'm
the ground,
saying
you're
like if you really go that direction,
Or
it
maybe
just
when
gets
it's
so
knocked
nebulous
over,
that it
right,
becomes not
bounces
worth
again.
it. So
I would say in this context, all we need is that ball hitting those pins,
Mhm.
and then a bunch of thuds
Yeah,
maybe,
I
or
agree.
like falling in the water, or
yeah,
I think you'll
I-
notice though, I took this physics-based animation class, and when we were talking about the physics of the animation versus the physics of sound, very similar things. You don't think about it much, but all the animation of all the different ways strikes happen is really important to the game, kind of subconsciously, right?
Yeah.
And in that same way, you will get a very real thing, and you do all the collisions beforehand, you compute it out before you present it, of course. And in that same way, part of the presenting of the animation is also presenting of the sound.
right.
So I think you could do it. I think you would end up with a richer experience if you could handle it.
You could also, yeah, right. You could also, the instant replays could be a more satisfying sound. Like, it could be that quintessential strike sound, and only it's in slow motion. You know, like you could change it, and more so like when it's in real time, it's a bunch of pins hitting. You know, it's with the bowling ball hitting pins, and just a bunch of randomized, you know, hitting or whatever, different modulations of volumes and stuff. That could be one way. I mean, it takes some experimenting, honestly.
But if you did that, I would say also do the visual a little different. Maybe have it close up, zoomed in for the replay or something.
Yeah, well, that's what he's doing in the game.
Oh yeah.
And I think that, yeah, we would have to, as sound designers, we would have to follow what, like, when we're doing that kind of thing where we're really close to the ball, you know, we really only want to hear the ball rolling, not necessarily all the animates, in my opinion, because that's what, like, the replay is doing. It's like showing us what's happening. So I think two different kind of states. When you go into that replay, I almost like want bullet time, like
Yeah.
all the sound to go out, and you just hear in a. It would be hilarious, and it would be like fun to hear. It'd be like audibly fun.
I could see playing with a little bit of like bringing in some spectator noises of like,
Yeah,
you know, people being like,
like strike.
yeah, like especially if you could make it when like a split happens. There's like a moment of pause, and that's like, oh, you know, like that kind of feel to it.
Well, that kind of goes to definitely. That's like the Wii Sports thing.
I was
right?
gonna say
Yeah.
that's
And that's
very
the
good.
screaming that, you know, this is screaming that, especially this guy here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Bill. Bill the bowler. So we got these other people there too. One thing we haven't talked about at all is footsteps. Are those important at all?
I don't think so.
no.
They are an actual bowling though, right? How you
I mean,
place.
perhaps.
Not- are
I
you
mean,
actually-
honestly, when you go bowling, you have felt on the bottom of your feet anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that important. It might just be extra
Much
noise.
of a noise.
Just extra noise.
Yeah.
Like,
You have like ambient noise of other people walking around.
yeah, sure.
Maybe not the player.
Yeah, not the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah,
footsteps.
I could hear just like crowd ambience.
Yep.
You know.
Like, I literally just went bowling last week, so
Yeah,
I didn't notice the footsteps.
yeah.
But it'd be so cool to have like the basketball squeaking shoe steps.
That would be really just like ridiculously over the top.
You have a clown character and squeaks. and stuff.
That's good,
Yeah.
There's no clown character.
Maybe we could have that as an option, like an option in the
Squeaky
settings where you
shoes.
can squeaky shoes all the way up.
Yeah.
Turn the squeaky shoes up.
Yeah.
It's just like just all of them, everybody's shoes in the whole.
Sounds like a basketball court.
Oh man, that would be ridiculous.
Gosh, that's so.
Oh man.
Watching this definitely made me want like tennis noises, like when like on the, the grunts and things like
Yes.
that. Even though I don't know if that's necessarily. Yeah.
Just something.
And every character could kind of have a set of them.
It's like when the ball leaves your hand, there's like a tennis.
But I don't ever.
No, like the grunts of like you
Yeah.
watch
Oh, yeah.
tennis and they're like, ah.
But when I bowl, I don't do that though.
I know that, but it's like it feels like there's
It would be
such
funny.
personality in the character.
Every character has their own.
Yeah, man. What?
And then like a
5
reaction
grunts.
once they've
Yeah.
done it.
And the sounds need to support the world plus atmosphere. I'm going to throw out the idea the game should have a golf announcer.
It feels
Yeah.
kind of golfy. Yeah.
That is a good idea right there. That ties in the golf.
Whispering guy and a little.
When you get a
like
strike,
that.
and that's
Yeah.
a strike.
Maybe that, and then the little clap.
Yeah,
Yes.
this little golf clap.
That's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
That's really
I gotta
good.
say that.
So maybe this whole place is a little quieter.
Right.
Maybe an ambience is a little. Like,
That's a great idea.
maybe it should.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Just
It would
murmurs.
fit perfectly.
It's
It
a
would be
7-10
hilarious.
split. The hardest in bowling.
I was about to ask.
That's I love that, Scott.
It fits perfectly.
It
not
fits.
so much as it
Yeah.
like.
That's the golf, because I was like, that's the thing I wanted to know is how do we incorporate the golf part? Because like clearly there is a golf element here. It's like the court or
That's
the
such a funny idea.
the lane is the golf, but like there's not anything else from golf that we're like really connecting with. So I do think that like the whole ambience could just be golf centric.
Mm-hmm.
What if
And,
we
like,
replace the bowling pin sounds with getting balls in the hole from golf?
It might be, it could be really funny. It also could just be like really disconnecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I want to have both. I want to be able to hear bowling pins rather than a golf ball, and I want to hear golf ball or golf, environment rather than bowling alley. So that could be a really funny way to tie into the game design, because it's literally doing that. And that would be a way to really specifically over the top, because it is over the top. You
Yeah.
can turn around and throw it at people, basically.
Jordan,
Getting angry,
adding,
throwing your
like,
club.
Yeah.
Now you're throwing your
unhinged
bowling ball.
animations Where like a bowling pin pulls out.
We want, that was like one of the first things we wanted to do, but like we just didn't.
cool
We're two programmers, so we just didn't have the manpower for that, unfortunately. We had like a whole section of TVs, like it would go up and you'd see like the little thing play, but
Well, I think if we were developing, if we sat down and we had this discussion and we went to Jordan and said, this is what we're doing, this is our plan. I think the pitch would be, we want bowling sounds with bowling alley or golf ambience bowling like
Gameplay.
bowling gameplay. Yeah.
like set more on a golf course than a
Yes.
bowling alley.
Yes.
Yeah.
That we were playing around with that a little bit too, but yeah, just stuck more with bowling one in the end.
Of course.
It won.
Yeah, because
Bowling always
I mean, you're basically setting it. Like I honestly, when I first got this, I was like, what does it mean? What's the hills part? And it took me a little bit to see that the ground it was the water that gave it away. It wasn't actually the lane.
Mhm.
The water was like, why is there water in there? Oh, it's a green. Okay, so that was like my connecting point. But I think if sounds were happening in connection with it, people would right away they would get it.
Yeah.
Alright,
Wow.
so we've been, I keep going back to number 6 on here, and we kind of started moving our way towards this, but I'm like, I'm watching this, and it's really hard for me not to, maybe it's credits to Wii bowling, because I can't stop. As I was watching, like, all I hear is the Wii bowling sounds,
Yeah.
but everything, so it looks so
I've
similar.
seen, yeah.
Like, I expect a like as you like are changing your angle and
Oh,
that's your
yeah.
right?
I forgot.
And I can just hear it perfectly even though I haven't played it in like 20 years. Or however
Yeah, yeah.
long it came out. But
2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I'm trying to
It is like 20 years
I'm
almost.
trying to not let that
Exactly
paint
that.
my visual, and I feel like a lot of the sounds we're like describing are very realistic. I'm like the game does have like a little bit of cartoony vibe, and I'm like, what if it was something totally different? And like, what would that look like? How would that change the vibe? Is that a bad decision?
No,
I like leading
nothing bad.
like to me golf and me having it realistic towards the golf angle is really funny. It feels like it's trying to be funny. But I almost wanted to like explore like if you're not using as realistic of sounds, like you know, if you're going for this like maybe lower poly style or something, what would that end up being? Also music.
Weird
Like,
synthesizer.
Yeah, what is the music? How would the music work in this? Because I think that music would probably be like sort of its stop right here,
Yeah, be minimalistic if any.
and
I
then
think
when
it's,
it hits, that's when the music comes in, or even in the replay, that's when the music.
It feels like it's
I would,
diegetic to me.
yeah, I almost don't want any music unless you're doing like a background speaker or bowling alley playing music, not like an
That's what it
actual
feels to me.
cinematic.
Yeah.
He
Terrible
wants
idea.
Only orchestra
No, I'm
hits.
just kidding.
Only orchestra hits.
Orchestra hits.
Hit the parts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
would definitely go for that.
I don't know if music actually plays a major role in this to me.
Jordan, is this on Steam? Can I play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on
Steam.
How are you not rich?
Yeah, I know.
I made a bowling game.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
He's got to
We're
wait.
gonna hear
for
the
his
audio and we're like,
Here's
oh,
his-
that's
little
why.
golfing alley.
Here's
That'll make him big.
It's because the sounds are all wrong.
That'd be really funny.
Let's do a sequel called Golfing Alley.
That would be really funny.
It's just the opposite.
No,
You're on a golf
honestly,
course, but you
game
bowl.
design-wise,
And like
I
the
would
sounds
really-
are super obnoxious.
I want to see this idea expanded, where it's like I'm on an actual golf course.
Every time it goes into the hole,
Yeah,
you hear.
I think that would.
What if you're using a freaking like hammer to golf with a bowling ball?
Every time you get a par, you get one of those like stupid little videos that plays like, a strike or a spare.
I do think with the like golf aesthetic, I kind of expect no music.
Yeah, I kind of want the atmosphere to be the music, you know.
Yeah.
But also, I could hear like little singers or like little
Yeah.
like
To set the mood.
yeah, just to like
Gut.
or kind of just maybe even what am I trying to say like take us away from the setting almost in a sense for a really quick second, especially when we're looking this direction. When we're looking this way, I could see music. You know, I could hear
Yeah,
music.
that's a good point.
And then as soon as you flip there, then I want music to sort of die down. And then be about that's when the audience starts coming up, or like that's when the wind starts howling, you know. And this is third time here. And
Three-time champion. Three-time Bowling
Player one.
Masters champ.
Yeah. And then, you know, like we have the little tiny songs
Yeah.
come in between things or something like that. I could see that being really cool. But like when we're like this, I want it to be very focused on
Yeah.
the action,
Sure.
because I think that would be funny. And this game's all about being funny, in my opinion. It's not realistic,
Yeah.
but it's sort of painting a picture of like pseudo-realism, like this surrealism almost, like.
It's a environment that takes itself seriously, but it's a surrealistic environment, so by nature that makes it have some sort of chaotic
Right.
whimsy.
Right. So we definitely need a musical cue out here. Something to just get us grooving.
Start.
Yeah. Start.
Or just
There's
any
Bill.
show that you
And then,
click a
and then
button.
the
Yeah.
is it-
Any
and then
action.
Yep, the
right?
UI. Yep, just basic
music
UI
breaks
stuff.
down like the record stopping.
We need some really horrible sounding, you know, really loud fluorescent lights.
Your bowling alley looks like a gym.
Yeah.
It is very gym-like.
What are you talking about? Look at that! Look at that carpet. That carpet right there screams bowling alley.
The fluorescent lights scream gym.
Do you want some art?
Actually, that carpet also does.
No, the wall
notes on-
screams gym.
Yeah.
And also the hard floor screens gym too.
That could, but that also screams bowling alley to me too.
Jordan, if you have enough power, can you throw the ball through that glass ceiling?
No, you can't.
Okay.
Dang.
So we don't need sounds for that.
That sounds like
Putting a ball into
your
orbit.
expansion DLC.
Yeah.
The home run.
I do.
The home run.
Okay, I do like love the idea of like a completely open like bowling alley like that. Like that sounds awesome. But that's like the fun part of the golf too.
It's like Top Golf, but it's
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we've exhausted everything we can talk about.
What happens when you hit people?
You can hit people, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
that's when that's when you have the funny like,
Bowling pin sounds for that.
Wait,
yeah, bowling pin sounds, yeah. Bowling pin
That's
sounds.
a head.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
There is a ton of stuff.
Knock 'em over and they
That would be really fun.
Jordan, do you feel
the
like
announcer
Kind
just
of
says,
pull
"Ouch."
everything.
do you feel like you've gotten a totally different perspective than
Yeah,
what you're
honestly,
okay.
that's a lot of like interesting points that like, you know, we just had like the one vision in our head and we're just like, okay, yeah, well, the game is that.
Well,
And then,
this is a good segue to,
Yeah.
to have you come up and talk about
Oh,
the
well,
vision.
do we want to play?
Yeah,
the
can we
audio?
play it?
Oh yeah, let's play the audio first.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Last thing, if you throw in the crowd, someone has to yell for.
That's
Maybe you just have to yell for every time you throw the ball.
That's good too.
Okay, yes, we gotta hear the
Voice
sound.
acting.
I'm
Or
sorry.
just get 4 pins left.
Where did it put? Here it is. Okay, so let's full screen this. Turn the volume up. Let's hear it.
I'm ready for the soundtrack.
It's,
I can tell if the game did that or if that's your mixing.
no, it's the. I mean, it is a quiet file, but
You wish you'd come to this meetup 3 years ago.
that would've been nice. Yeah. I guess I would have had to
If it
do it
existed,
earlier.
yeah.
2021. It is a quiet file. I should have made it a little bit louder.
We're gonna see an update on Steam in a few days.
There's some totally ubiquitous. Yeah.
Those menu sounds like what I would expect.
You're not missing the rolling sound. Move your cursor out of the way. Sorry. He'll talk about it. He'll talk. Let's listen for now. I actually really love that sound.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like that. That's great. It's that splash. Yeah. Just could never really get him. Amazing. Amazing.
So great.
Okay, yeah, snaps. Actually, you know what? I think this actually. Whoa, we're breaking the rules for I think golf claps. So, okay, that was awesome. Thank you so much. Please welcome Jordan up here.
All right, thank you. I just had it in my bag, but I figured, okay, I bought this I got this because I made the game, because I made the character in the game. And I was like, yeah, how many times am I gonna get to wear this thing? So, yeah, that was Bowling Hills. You guys saw that, obviously, and as you guys guessed too, one of the biggest inspirations was Wii Sports Bowling as well. As far as the design, let's see. You guys had a lot of good points with that, but now I can't think of anything in here. But yeah, wanted it to feel lively. It felt like the crowd noises, were pretty essential, and just like, you're still feeling like you're in a bowling alley. Because I don't know, that's just cozy to me. I don't know. The whole Wii Sports Bowling is just a very cozy thing, and I wanted to try and include that. Let's see, yeah, and then just the main twist obviously was to kind of increase a little variation in bowling instead of just like doing your same shot every single time. That was why it's bumpy, and that's the grass and whatnot too. Actually, so a good point that people raised about not reading it as like a hill right away, like as much as we would have loved to like have like crazy lanes that like rise up, like, but it just like it makes it impossible to play. Basically, you would just like slide off and gutter every single time. So we had to mute it down quite a bit. But the sand traps kind of help convey that a little bit too, and just like the grass textures as well. So hopefully that comes, and the water, I guess, is pretty strange thing for that. Let's see. Yeah, just like some background on some of the audio sounds for that. Anything I recorded was done with just like a Blue Yeti I got in 2015, just like the worst. It's not that okay. It's not the worst, but it's not the best.
There's the music tech, $10 microphone you get from Amazon.
Right. Or you could just like record with a
little slider on and off on it.
Yeah.
That's worse.
Yeah.
Dynamic microphone.
Yeah, let's see. And I made the game with my friend Tanner Nielsen. He's watching right now. Everyone say hi to Tanner. Hi, Tanner. They say hi to Tanner. But yeah, he did the music. We just did the one song for it. We did like a little variation. You might have noticed, you might not, in the menu, where it's just like a stripped down version of it, basically, just kind of like the drums in like one section for that. But yeah, the biggest inspirations was Wii Sports Bowling, and then the Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack for that, because we're obsessed with that. Let me do that. I could play these a bit later. I actually do have like some drafts that the song went through. Do you think that'd be good to go through now, or? Okay. Well, this was. Whoa. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Good thing I'm already deaf and listening to rock.
This is safe. Did I close out?
She gone.
A lot harder than it looks, huh?
It is, yeah. Okay. So I close out. Here, you can. Yeah. I'll fill out. I'll fill out air.
I'll dance and you can talk.
Okay, yeah, that's good. But yeah, we were gonna do more music, but just constraints. You know, we just wanted to make a game in like a year and a half, and we did do that, but we had to cut a lot of things that we would have liked as well. Oh yeah, here's kind of like the organ and stuff. We're playing around a bit too, and you can kind of hear it as it kind of develops. I'll let it go to the one part, and then we can move back on to where the draft comes in. Yeah. But yeah, so that's, and then if you go to the Google Drive, I didn't list it in here. Yeah, I showed you the, okay, did you? So the music progression, that one. Yeah, and we'll start with 0. So this is something that I came up with, and I'm not, you know, I play music, but like, you know, I'm not like a musician or anything like that.
Play music on like a record player, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so I was mostly inspired by the Wii song, the Wii Sports song that we played for you. So you can just go ahead and play that, probably. But it's very amateurish. Oh, it's okay. I'm back. Okay, cool. All right.
He's back.
Okay, I'm back. So I was saying, is the room audio?
We're fine.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, I was saying, just having this audio reverb zone covers up a lot of the harsh pin sounds, basically. So, yeah, we can keep going. And then there's the ball rolling. That one, we only have one just like rolling sound, basically. Well, one like, it's kind of it's a look. I guess that's why I wrote it out here. So we have like the basic rolling sound where it's just, you know, a ball rolling on like wood and whatnot. And like we always play that pretty much, and it's tied to basically the angular velocity of the ball. So it's just the volume. So if you're rolling slow, it'll play quiet. If you're rolling fast, it'll play, you know, louder. And if you're in sand, it plays like a sand. It's a sand roll instead. And yeah, fun fact for that. I think I've told people about it before, but yeah, recording that, I wasn't gonna buy a bunch of sand, but I did have a bunch of jasmine rice in a large like plastic bowl. So I just like basically filled it up and then just kind of moved it around in front of the mic to get like a rolling thing that, you know, could loop feasibly. And the sand impact is also just me smacking the jasmine rice in the bowl. So yeah, and the one unique thing about the ball rolling is so no matter like if say like your ball is rolling really slow, we still wanted like the sound of like the little finger holes to like break up the thing, you know. So we'd keep track of like how long it would take for the ball to roll like 180 degrees, and we'd play like one of those little accents where it's like it hits a bump or something like that. That makes it a little more believable, especially at like lower speeds. Yeah, and it just sounded a lot better from that. Oh yeah, and another thing, kind of goes back to the design thing before, but yeah, we ended up kind of like using more of like the traditional bowling sounds for like the lanes, because, you know, what does a bowling ball sound like if you plop it on grass? It just is quiet, you know. And so we really wanted that to be satisfying, and then, you know, you also need the rolling as well. And we maybe could have done a little something like more creative with that, where it's just like you're brustling through something. Maybe it could have been that more exaggerated. Yeah, basically. But yeah, no, we ended up just going with like the traditional bowling sounds just because it felt weird without it, you know. So
I actually didn't think of the finger holes. That was a good call.
yeah, and that way, like, yeah, and programming it like this, just like, yeah, it just makes it a lot more believable, and you don't have to record like different variations for the speed and what. You could do it that way too, but we know how to do it this way, and it was easier for us. So
I thought it was effective.
yeah. Okay, and then we have the bowler. Most of the sounds were made from just playing with basic synthesizers and LMMS. I did learn how to use that a little bit better from the song I made to some of the sound effects. But yeah, it's just like a basic kicker. You just modify like the envelope for it as well for a lot of the sounds. I added like a tremolo for like zooming in and out or for the camera and stuff like that. But let's see, sliding. Yeah, that was actually just me recording a flip-flop on the ground, just me like kind of rubbing the ground with a flip-flop in the same sort of circular fashion as the rice. You can't really hear that in that, but yeah, it's like when you're sliding, it's like it's as if like you're just like kind of sliding a shoe basically, since they're not actually stepping. And the original sound for that was just like a concrete brick sliding against the ground too, but that could have worked, but that was definitely cartoony. Can I click that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we just looped that. That was part of it. It survived like a month, you know, but yeah. Except you do the trick where you take an end of it and then fade in and take the beginning and fade out. We did that a lot. Yep. Okay. And then the turning was also just that. Yeah, there's nothing really that crazy there. Okay, moving on. Oh no. Okay. I won't go out again until the end.
No, it's okay.
Let's see. Are you
Oh,
programming?
You wanna talk
Oh, the
about
turning?
turning?
Oh, yeah. We
Chainsaw
can play it if you want.
Chainsaw
Yeah.
dinner party?
Oh yeah. It was a hydraulic press sound.
Homemade hoist.
So, as you're turning, I don't know. It's like an animatronic kind of thing. So it's also funny, but I don't know. We got scared. Maybe we should have had more artistic integrity.
Especially the guy at the beginning.
Yeah.
Homemade hoist.
Yeah. But Freesound is awesome. If you're not getting all your sounds from Freesound, I don't know what you're doing.
No, don't do that. But you could.
Yeah, Collision. It's kind of what you would think. It's like you basically just we have all these like physical materials for the pins, the bowling ball, the lane and whatnot, and then you just kind of play. You have a group of them, and depending on like the impact of the collision, like you'll play a more aggressive sound for each of those, and that's basically the gist for that. We also have like a bit of pitch modulation. I don't know why I added that, but I did. But it just helps increase a little bit variety. I don't know.
Keeps it from overlapping with the same exact
True.
sound,
Yep.
so it gets weird.
Yep. No, that's a good point. And then let's see. Yeah, just some like technical details. Some special setup was needed for sand and gutter, since you don't actually like physically impact them. They're just like little areas on the lane itself. So it's just when you enter the area, you just play one of the sand impact sounds or the gutter splash sounds. So, yep. And then this is kind of relevant to Scott's talk way earlier, but for replays, there's like a hook in for Unity where you basically just like capture like the samples that were played in like any specific sound, and then you can go ahead and gather them all together. And this is the approach I did for mixing them. I think I just added them together and like that was it. That's it? Right. Really? I thought there was like something wrong with the gain or something.
When you're crossfading,
that's when it's crossfading? Okay. Well, I guess I did this right then. So yeah, take notes.
Take notes.
Linear PCM, you just get to add the values.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I was working with the linear stuff. Okay, cool. I guess I did it right. Cool. Well, that's it for that. Yeah, and then just some source I got. Most of them from Freesound. Someone made. So you can hit the bystanders. It's also the same person. Yep. And then all the male ones were me because it's my game. I get to record audio. And all the pins were basically just this file. And it's very hard. I forget what I did to like make it sound a little less harsh, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you bring it down in volume.
Yeah, I think less volume. I don't know if I took out some of the higher things.
Ooh.
Oh.
You could do,
that's new.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, let's see. And then pin impacts.
Were the pins in real life? What were those sounds?
They're just pins. They're like
They're just from
bowling pins. Yep.
Which one? All these?
Oh, no, because you scroll down. Yeah, you can't link to a specific one. It might be bowling pins being hit. Oh, gutter ball. That's the one. I don't know if you can hear. If you scroll down.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, gutter ball. Then you gotta play it.
Sounds like a gutter ball.
Yep. So especially that end, I think we used that as well. So we used that little section there, and that section there too. Yep. The little metallic ringing. Yep. Even though there's no metal
I think
in our game at all.
It still conveys the same.
Yeah. Yep. I think this was the ambient rolling sound that just plays throughout basically. Yep. And then we add the variation whenever it goes in. So. And then just someone recorded a bowling game. pretty far with it, you know. I think that's mostly it. Other than that, yeah. So, but yeah.
Questions for Jordan here. Let's first give him a dude. Thank you.
Thanks.
And then we do snaps and we do
Golf clap. Yeah.
questions for Jordan here. No questions. When does the sequel come out?
You guys had a lot of good ideas for like the.
You gotta do the announcer, man.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be fun to just you like randomly generate like a course and like you get 2 shots and then you move on to the next hole. You know, I don't know. I know we had talked about that. Yeah, I know Tanner and I talked about that. I don't know why I think like we didn't know how to make anything at the time, so we were just like, that sounds hard. Trees and grass and let's just do a box. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of using a golf club to hit the bowling ball?
Yeah, well, actually, there's a game called Balf that does that already on Steam. Yeah. Ours is better.
You should have used maybe a crochet mallet or something.
Yeah.
Boom.
That'd be fun. Yeah. But yeah, you'd like Balf then.
I would like.
Look up Balf. Shoutouts to Balf.
Shout outs to Balf. Well, that concludes our meeting today, folks. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Yeah. Everybody go play Bowling Hills. And Balf, apparently. Yeah, Balf too. It's on Steam, you said? Yes. It's on Steam. So yes. $5. You should really buy it for $30. Maybe $50. Maybe give a tip. Pay a $50. Give a tip. Standard Switch price, $80. Yeah. $100. Game of the year version. We're gonna head to the bar if you want. And thanks for everybody on this that came to the stream, and this was fantastic. We will see you next month. Bye. Yeah.